Hey guys, welcome to my new kitchen. And of course, the train just started going by as soon as I wanted to start this live. That's how it always works, though, right? I can't remember when was the last time I've done a live. It's been a crazy couple of months, and we're finally in our new house. It took quite a while to get here. It was a mess with closing. It took 3 months instead of 2 months that it was supposed to take. So we're still getting stuff set up, but New York, specifically Western New York, is now in orange zone, which that's what our governor has done. Yellow, orange, and red. So the orange zone is basically just outside dining, but it's getting to the point where it's winter time now, and so we can't do that. So we're just doing takeout, and I'm down to working 1 day a week. So I'll be coming live at you probably quite a bit because all I'm doing is testing recipes and cooking dinner. So I'm cooking dinner every night. So I might as well record it and show you guys how I make a recipe keto. And I linked below the Pinterest recipe that I found. It's a pretty easy recipe, and I'm pretty much changing most of it. But that's how a chef kind of works a lot of times. They just take kind of inspiration from different recipes and makes it their own, taste it, see what it needs. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I got some pork chops from a butcher box, and they look really nice. I'm kind of bummed I'm not just grilling them up, but I really am craving Asian, and Asian is something that we can't really have on keto very often because no restaurant that I know of does keto Asian food. So we have done Mexican, we did Italian this week. So today I'm going to be doing an Asian dish. Sorry about the lighting. This is the only room that doesn't have dimmable lighting. I could have set up my whole lighting rig, but didn't have time for that. Just wanted to get in and start making dinner. My boyfriend's at work right now, and he'll be coming home in a couple hours, and he'll have some leftovers. But what else? If you guys are here, say hello, and maybe we'll chat some about what I'm making or any questions you have. If you're watching this later, comments below, anything you'd like to chat about, anything you'd like to see me make, specifically anything you're missing that you can't find a good recipe for. I've done a lot of different recipes, so if you have something, I can try to figure something out and do that for another live stream. But I've done a lot of mise en place already, like getting all my stuff together. One thing I'm changing about this recipe, I realized after I said I was going to do this recipe, it said don't use pork loin because it'll be dried out. And then I read the instructions and it says to boil the pork and the sauce together for an hour. And so, of course, it's going to be dry. So I'm going to cut this into bite-sized pieces, and I'm going to actually see if this works. I've never actually done this before. Do like I've seen Asian recipes where you do cornstarch and then egg and then fry it. So I'm gonna do that ahead of time, like right now, and then I'll make the sauce after. So I'm not boiling the pork in with the sauce. And when the sauce is done, I'll put the breaded pork back in and sauce it up and then put it over cauliflower rice. We're gonna try it. You'll be the first to know if it works or not. I'm sure someone else has tried this too, but these are really thick pork chops. So the only thing I haven't done yet is get my pork chops cubed up and breaded. But I already have some avocado oil and coconut oil heating on, like, I'm going to do a shallow fry of only like a half an inch or so. So I have that heating behind me on super low heat right now, just so it doesn't get done and we're not ready for it yet. I don't want it smoking before we have to put the pork in. Oh, the train is done. Yay. Now I can hear myself think. We literally have a train in our backyard, but it's a really nice yard and it's kind of a secluded area, which is what we were looking for. So the train's okay to deal with. We live next to the train also where we were last time, but there was no horn or anything and it was a little bit further away. But I'm just doing these into little bite-sized cubes. So I'm just going to bread them all in some protein powder that I seasoned with salt and pepper, just unflavored protein powder. And I'm going to dip them in egg and then put them into the fryer, the hot oil that we're heating up. So these should cook through pretty quick because I'm doing them pretty small, just bite-sized pieces. So these are really thick chops. So I'm literally cutting it in half and then in thirds and then into bite-sized pieces. Still trying to figure out what camera angle I want to do. I guess I could point you down. Can you see what I'm... Yeah, there you go. Point you down for now so you can see what I'm doing. But see, I just cut that guy in half. And then into thirds. And keep that fat on there. That's going to make it nice and tender. And we want fat in keto. Healthy fats anyways. Like I said, this is Butcher Box. So it's grass-fed pork. Delicious. I'm really excited with the videos that I'm doing coming up. I love Christmas time, and I always make my Christmas gifts. So you'll be seeing a sneak peek at what I'm making for Christmas gifts this year. There you go. All nice and cubed up. So I already chopped some garlic, which is already growing. I haven't been cooking in a while. And I did an onion and a half. The recipe for Pinterest said a half an onion for this recipe with 2 pounds of pork. I only have a pound of pork here, and my onions are really small, and I'm using some for my cauliflower rice too. So I chopped up 1 and a half. And this is my protein powder, just unflavored isopure protein powder, which I think I'm just going to dump this right into here. And I might even just shake it around. Get it all nice and coated. And then one by one, or maybe handful by handful, I'll drop it in the egg. And then into the hot oil. Gotta probably kick up our oil a little bit. But once this is done, it can just sit on the side and chill out while we make our rice and our sauce. Protein powder is a great alternative to coating. We did chicken parm the other night. Oh, so good. And we did this to start, and then egg, and then pork rinds that were seasoned up with parm cheese and Italian seasoning. Worked really good. I just seasoned this simply because we're doing Asian sauce to coat all over this. Yeah, it coats super good. You got like glare because of my overhead lights. They're really nice lights in person, but on camera they're not so great. So we're going to set that aside. I'm going to kick up my oil, and then we're going to start frying this up. I got to wash my hands because they're all porky. Okay, now I got to figure out how you're going to see everything. So I'm going to move my cutting board. Bring you closer. Very close. Okay, so that's my little setup here. I got a paper towel on plate to catch any of the oil. I'm going to pop up my heat a little bit and take a temperature. My thermometer turned off. You want it at like 325, 350. Once you put the pork in, it's going to bring the temperature down quite a bit. So you want it up a little high because your temperature will drop once you put the pork in. I can't wait. I ordered a laser thermometer. I can't wait to get it because it would make this so much easier. Especially shallow frying. You never know, like, you got to stick it in just that little bit. You can't have it touching the bottom of the pan. I've tried so many thermometers and never get one that works for everything. My candy thermometer broke, So I bought a probe thermometer that I thought would be great, and that thing is annoying and doesn't stay in place. And we're only at 220, so it's gonna be a minute. If you're joining me here, say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. If you enjoy what desserts you enjoy, if there's something that you want me to make that you haven't seen on my channel, I'm always looking for ideas. I have a lot of ideas and stuff that I like, but I'm not the authority on all desserts, you know, like I don't know what everybody's favorite is. It's like my boyfriend doesn't like super sweet desserts, so I make a lot of stuff for him that I wouldn't normally have made even for myself. It's always good to know what other people are looking for recipe wise. People loved my tiramisu. I was really surprised that so many people were looking for a keto tiramisu recipe. Tiramisu is one of my favorite desserts. Hands are gonna get dirty. Dirty. I also have a pan back here for my rice cauliflower. I just have a little bit of avocado oil and some sesame oil because we're making like an Asian stir fry cauliflower rice. Luckily, I pulled this out of the freezer a while ago. I always try to remember to pull it out ahead of time so it's not super frozen anymore. Because the longer it takes, it's just how frozen it was. You want to get it thawed and get all the water out of it. So I pulled it out a while ago. It's still pretty frozen though. Luckily, I had that in my freezer because our new house that we have, the dishwasher actually melted my food processor bowl, and we cannot get it back to shape to get the lid on. So I had to order a whole new food processor. So good thing I had that laying around. You can also check the temperature of the oil by just putting a little bit of whatever in it. If it bubbles up real good. It's almost there, it looks like. Might need a little bit longer. I hate these thermometers. Like, it takes forever just to get up there because it was at 70 and we wanted to 350. If anybody has any recommendations for a laser thermometer, it was really hard to read all of the reviews on these thermometers. They all had bad ones and good ones. And I'm like, I don't know what to choose. So I finally just picked one. But who knows if it's going to actually last or work well. So if you guys have any experience with laser read thermometers, let me know in the comments. I'll surely pick it up because it's one of those things that I could use it for so many different things. And this time would be really great to have a laser thermometer. We're at like 320. So I'm going to put my first batch of pork into my egg. I said, I don't know how this is going to work really because I've never done it. We'll see. Pork is sticking together. Nice and coated. You guys see what I'm doing a little bit? Maybe. I'll pull you even closer. So you're on my kitchen island, so you can only go so far. When the light's shining from everything. I tried to beat up my egg really good, but it looks like I didn't do too great of a job. It needs another minute still to warm up. Some of the pork was still a little wet, so I'm just trying to like get it coated again with some of the protein powder. So are any of you guys in quarantine still? Not able to leave the house or anything? We might be getting there soon. They keep saying, oh, by Wednesday, my I went to my doctor's, and the person that took my blood at Quest was like, "Oh, we'll be in red zone by Wednesday." Didn't happen though. So we have a really high case number in Western New York. So we'll see, I guess. I'm using a non-stick, so I have my silicone tongs here. It looks pretty good. It's nice and crispy looking. I think this will be good. I got my slotted spoon here. I was thinking maybe would work to like get the pork bits out without getting too much egg. Them all at once instead of picking them up one at a time. That worked out pretty good. Get some more pork bits in there. Yeah, it's working pretty good. Looks like our heat's still high enough, so adding them in. Pretty big pan, so got lots of room. Look for our first guys. Ooh, they're nice and crispy. This might be a new way to do them. Make ooh, this opens a lot of possibilities. Some General Tso's chicken. Not too hard either. I should probably turn my fan on. Sorry if it's gonna be too loud for you, but whenever you're frying, you don't want the fan on. I want to show you the close up. It is nice and golden brown, nice and crispy. I don't remember which one you put in first. This turned out way better than I thought it would. Like super nice and crispy. I think I might salt these a little bit just to have some salt on the outside. See how much they're cooked inside too. Yeah, we're at 148 inside, so we're nice and cooked. That was easy. These are going to stay nice and tender and juicy. We're going to make the sauce and then add them back into the sauce and coat them real good. It's going to taste delicious. I'm excited. Almost like General Tso's, only it's just sweet, sweet pork, sweet crispy pork. Excited. Okay, I just got like one more batch here. I promise I'll turn off the fan once I'm done frying here. Almost there. That's crispy. So I have it on 4. This whole time I've just left it on 4 and it's been doing real well. And my eggs, I actually had a couple egg whites that have been sitting in my fridge forever, and I just had one egg to the whites, and it turned out perfect for breading, and I got rid of my egg whites. I'm going to sprinkle over a little bit of my Himalayan really fine salt on top. I might try one of these before I even make the sauce because they look delicious. Mm. Crispy pork bites. Now, really good. Almost done here. Wash my hands one final time. Where'd my washcloth go? Oh, it's in the sink. The only thing about breading and frying things is it is not a clean process, but it comes out pretty darn tasty. Frying stuff is like the most delicious way to cook anything, I think, but it is not the cleanest. Oh, much better. My that was on low. My fan on low is that loud. It is ridiculous. I'm debating on getting some new appliances. I know they're all pretty new already, but I love my convection oven. I love the fan I had wasn't super loud. I love well, the fan I guess isn't really part of it. I have to uninstall it and reinstall a new one. But the broiler's on the bottom on this one, and it drives me nuts. I wanted to just broil some. I was roasting cauliflower, and I wanted to just broil it for a second. I didn't want to. I couldn't turn off the oven, so I had stuff baking, like cooking in there. But I wanted to broil it for just a minute or two, and I couldn't. But I know, third world, first world problems there. But I am a chef, so it kind of bugs me. Most of my friends are like, "Are you kidding me? It's like a brand new stove." I'm like, "I know, but it's not what I like." But I'll deal with it for a while, I'm sure, before I pull the trigger on it. Okay, now that that's done, I will probably strain that oil and save it for another round of. I might try my hand at some General Tso's chicken. Now that I know, like, it gets like super nice and crispy like this, and there was no carbs. I don't even think I used a whole egg, and the protein powder has no carbs in it, and pork doesn't have any carbs, so zero carbs for all this fried pork. And then the sauce we're making, we're going to use monk fruit sweetener in there, so there's no carbs in that. And then just a little bit of soy sauce, which has 1 gram. Actually, this is tamari. 1 gram for a tablespoon. We're going to use a couple tablespoons. Rice vinegar. Now, some of them do have sugar in them, so you got to make sure you read the labels on these because the one I had before had sugar in it. So I made sure to pick up one that didn't have sugar. And then sriracha has less than 1 for a teaspoon. And this actually isn't in the Pinterest recipe, but I like mine like kind of spicy sweet, so I think I'm going to add a little bit of that. And then fish sauce is in the recipe down below, which you can use oyster sauce. You can do just like this recipe is very customizable. Like Asian sauces, you just want to have a balance of sweet, sour, sugar, salt. Like you just want all of those, and you can just kind of work it into Just keep adding until it tastes right to you. So, like I said in the description box below, I just use that as like kind of a reference point, and I go from there. So, I'm going to start my cauliflower rice pan, and then I'm going to get another pan on for that sauce. And I'm thinking we need a pretty big one because we want to toss all that pork in there. So, I'm going to get another pan out. It's so nice that my boyfriend does dishes. I use a lot of dishes. Nice big heavy sauce pot. And basically the recipe down below, the Pinterest, just says saute up some onions in some olive oil. Add in brown sugar, soy sauce, fish sauce. That's it, and water. And you just cook it for a half an hour. But the thing is, so when making a sauce, the reason you have to boil it for a certain amount of time is you're just evaporating the water. So the less water you add, the less time it'll take for you to actually boil away the water. So really, you only have to add a little bit of water, and you want to get it kind of caramelized and thickened. So I'm probably not going to add a cup of water because I do not want to stand here for half an hour waiting for sauce to reduce, basically. You can also use a little bit of cornstarch, which I know on keto, you're not really supposed to eat corn. That's really the only problem with it. It has the same amount as like arrowroot powder. So if you do paleo, you can also just do, non-GMO, non-modified cornstarch. But the whole point of this recipe is basically just to boil it down until it's like really thick syrup. And that's what the sugar does. I don't know what exactly is going to happen with the monk fruit. We'll find out. It should act about the same though. She just used brown sugar. Ooh, there was some pressure in my bottle. So I'm just going to saute up onions in both these pans here. I always put onions and garlic in my cauliflower rice. It just adds another dimension of flavor that, cauliflower is kind of a bland flavor to begin with. So anything to make it taste better and more like a fried rice. I'm going to turn this way down. Cauliflower rice, the biggest thing is cooking it low and slow for a long time because you're trying to get out all the moisture from the cauliflower and get it kind of browned up too. We're just going to sweat that. It smells really good. It has the sesame oil, which that's a good way to add just some Asian flavor and adding a little bit more fat to your cauliflower. And then this one, we're just going to saute this down and then add all our other ingredients. And let it cook to thicken. I may add some xanthan gum just if I'm impatient and I want more sauce. I feel like if you reduce it enough, you're not going to have any sauce left, right? And I want to coat this pork really well because I bet it's going to be delicious, coated in like a sweet sauce. And her measurements were only a couple of tablespoons of everything. So I feel like it's not going to make a lot of sauce. Might need to add a little bit of water if it's not enough. 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of fish sauce, 1 cup of water, 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. So we're going to use this for 2 pounds of pork. I feel like that's not enough sauce for 2 pounds of pork. But I always try to make more than what I need because I'd rather have more than what I need than not enough. So I'll probably make the full recipe, even though I only have 1 pound of pork. I might even make more out of the recipe. You want to cook the onions for the cauliflower rice until they're translucent, and then you add in your garlic so you don't burn your garlic. So as soon as you toast up your garlic a tiny bit, you're adding in your rice. My tablespoon. Do I have a measuring cup? Yes, I do. So I'm probably just gonna start with like half a cup of water and see where we're at. Anybody else hate all the friggin' ads on Pinterest? That's insane. Another reason why a lot of times I just use it as reference because it just drives me nuts to keep looking at it. And I can make that. So this is going to boil for a minute, so the onions on this side for our sauce, we don't have to worry too much about them getting soft because we're going to be boiling all the stuff together. I might turn this lower though because we're going to be adding in only 1 tablespoon of this and 2 tablespoons of fish sauce. That's a lot of fish sauce. Usually you only use a tablespoon of fish sauce at a time. Not even. Like it has one of the tops for like Worcestershire. Like you don't want to use a lot of it, you know. Some water in there. And with using monk fruit sweetener, you always want to be careful not to let your monk fruit get like too much contact with metal without being in the liquid. You tend to caramelize or crystallize the sugar. You don't want to do. Okay, so 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. It's kind of a good idea to start a keto Asian restaurant. They have keto bakeries coming around now, which sucks. I really want to do that. But we already have one popping up in Buffalo. But keto Asian restaurant. I wonder how popular it would be. No sugar, gluten-free, so you got your gluten-free people too. That'd be pretty cool. And my gluten-free people that I know, they hate that they have to go to the Asian restaurant. They have to go to specific ones because they know which ones actually pay attention to gluten allergies. But I bet they would go to an all gluten-free Asian restaurant that was healthier. So I'm going to let this go for a while, but I'm probably going to add, like I said, I have my rice wine vinegar out, and I have my sriracha out, and I might add that. I might even add more of other things too. I never just follow a recipe. Open up our cauliflower and get that into there. Get it nice and seasoned up. And at the very end, when this gets nice and crispy and none of the water's in there, I'll add in some like soy sauce. Make it a little bit more Asian flavor. Ooh, I should have some broccoli. Might add some broccoli to that too. You want to kind of just let it sit for a minute on the bottom of the pan. I have a really bad problem with not moving things, but with cauliflower rice, you really just should let it boil away all the water and like crisp up. I'm very impatient and like to stir things. hard for me not to eat all these little pork bites while we're waiting. Can't believe how good they turned out. Definitely doing that with chicken. Make General Tso's chicken. Good ideas. This is all going to take a while. So, like I said, went to the doctor's this week, and one thing I haven't gotten it from a lot of people, but certain people have worried about, oh, you're eating so much fat, and I'm like, well, it's all healthy fats. There's no vegetable oil, no soybean oil, no canola. It's avocados, bacon, good cuts of steak, and ground beef, and MCT oil and stuff like that. But they were really worried about my cholesterol. And I was at the doctor's actually last year, November, and I started keto in April. I started eating better and cutting out bad oils in like January. And so I wanted to get everything tested again because I had my yearly again. And my doctor was ecstatic at the weight loss. I think, according to last year, November, I lost like 40 pounds, but I actually gained more after that doctor's visit. I think I actually gained another like 20 pounds in like a couple of months. So that's why in January I wanted to start losing. But so I'm down like almost 60 since the beginning of the year. But I have like a chart on my phone so I can go back to my old test results and see like my cholesterol and everything. And I got it done again and everything went down. Because I've been seeing things on Facebook too about how people's cholesterols have been going up and stuff. And they're like, is this, safe to be doing keto? And my cholesterol is super high now. But for me in particular, everything went down. My triglycerides were like above what they should be, and they went way below the normal. So I am super ecstatic about that. And actually, my mom was one of those people that was worried about my cholesterol. And she's always struggled with her weight just like I have. Like, we're the exact same genes, basically. We have the exact same makeup. We have the same vices of sweets and sugar. Like, we could eat as much sugar, a whole plate of cookies or a whole cake if we were not worried about other things in our lives, But yeah, she is going to start keto. Super happy about that. I can't wait to help her out, and I can't wait for her to be as happy, and I don't know, I just feel so much better. Like, I ate those, I know a lot of people love them, the Mission carb balance tortillas. And I've been pretty much gluten-free. Like, I haven't really eaten bread or anything like that. And I also got the Aldi's zero carb bread, but they all have wheat gluten in them. And I had 2 of the small carb balance. They're like this big. I had 2 of those last night. And I woke up with a stomach ache, and I felt bad last night after I ate them. So I think I may have a gluten intolerance, which I've never been tested for. But it upset me so much. But now, like, that I don't eat gluten, I feel so much better. And I don't know if my mom's going to go that far. She might just do the lazy keto, which I do pretty lazy too. I just don't eat gluten. I don't really track my macros or anything like that. And I eat some snacks that I really shouldn't. But I think she'll just feel so much better. I should probably get a different kind of spatula. Spatula. It's starting to get thick. Like I said, I don't know how thick it's going to get. Especially with our Swerve or monk fruit sweetener. Doesn't taste very good. It's not very salty. It's also probably because I have tamari and not regular soy sauce. So I'm definitely gonna have to doctor that up a little bit. Cauliflower's looking good. Got some time though. Turn that up a little bit. I think I'm gonna add more soy sauce. Ooh. A little bit of rice wine vinegar and definitely some sriracha. It needs a little heat because it's just right now it's just sweet. I want it a little spicy. I know my boyfriend will probably add like a shit ton of hot sauce to it, but I like a little bit of hot sauce. I just ordered from Thrive Market like really good brand of this because this stuff has like potassium sorbate and all that crap in it, which I don't want to have, but they don't have the other brands at Walmart right now, so. Like I said, I might add some xanthan gum to this because this is not a lot of sauce, and I want sauce to coat my stuff. That's good. I actually picked this recipe because someone in the comments of the video said they used monk fruit instead of the brown sugar, and it tasted delicious. So I'm like, guess I'll do that. Definitely needs some salt. I always say recipes are just like benchmarks for cooking. Baking is one thing. You kind of really need to follow a recipe. You got to keep an eye on your ratios of flour and baking powder and all that stuff. Whew, this sriracha got me in the back of the throat. Woo, buddy. Ugh. It's a little spicy. I don't see this getting thick enough for my liking. Yeah, maybe if we just let it keep going. But that's bad. I was debating on adding an egg to my rice, but now that we have the egg coating the pork, I don't think we really need it. I do want some broccoli in here, though. I don't know. Use a spoon if you're cooking for other people, but it's just yourself. Pretty good. I'm gonna add a little bit of regular soy sauce, which I try not to do soy either, because it contains wheat. But it needs a little kick of the soy saltiness. I'm almost out. Just like I've tried that coconut amino acids, and I wasn't a huge fan. Like it didn't give you the Asian soy flavor. See, that just kicked up the salt a little bit, and super good. There's like oil oil separating for some reason, which I didn't put any. Oh, I put a little bit of oil for the onions, but it's starting to get real thick though, so that's good. Only a couple more seconds, I think that's good. And it tastes good. Our rice is getting brown. Should probably put some broccoli in the sauce. Sauce or in the rice? All I have is frozen broccoli right now, so I'm gonna turn this on real low because it's almost done. Do we have an open bag? I do. Mine is stocked up on frozen vegetables. They're just so much easier to prep. You don't have to blanch them and everything. I think I'm going to add them to the sauce. If anything, it'll just take a little bit longer to reduce, but it's already pretty reduced. So. I feel like really big chunks. They're pretty big anyways. Maybe probably put a lid on that. Wait, it steams it. And we're almost done here. I'm looking forward to this. What time is it? Almost 7. So that took about an hour. Yeah, we're getting there. We did a little extra step with frying of the pork that took a little bit longer. Otherwise, it would have been pretty fast. Okay, see, so my cauliflower is starting to get brown on the bottom. That's how you know most of the moisture is out of the rice. So it's going to taste more like rice. See, nice brown spots there. So only a couple more seconds on that, and I'm going to add a little bit of soy sauce just to give it some more salty flavor. I only just initially salt and peppered this. So I haven't tried it since. I'm going to give it a taste. Make sure we don't need any other salt. Pretty right on with the salt. So, I'm going to add a little bit of soy sauce and that'll be done. Oh, and my boyfriend is not keto. He has leftover brown rice from when I was doing more paleo. I did buy a bunch of really good grains. So we're still working our way through those until those are gone. And then if he wants white rice, I'll buy white rice. But because brown rice takes forever to cook. And if he doesn't care, I'd rather just do white rice because it takes 15 minutes. Flipping all the broccoli over so the frozen part can hit the pan. Kick this up a little bit now too, because now that we have water in there, we're not going to reduce it too much. So then we got to add in our pork. I'm just going to add a tiny bit of the tamari in here. Saute that up. Definitely could put chopped up tofu in this. Be a good addition to this. And then, like I said, I was debating on putting an egg in and stir frying it. It'd also be really nice with if I had fresh green onions to put on top. Did call for that in the recipe, but I don't have any. Okay, so the sauce is back to boiling. We had it down real low, so it wasn't boiling up. But it's boiling and the broccoli's getting thawed. I'm going to put this rice onto a plate or maybe into a bowl. Start plating up. I'm excited. I've been wanting some Asian food. I'm really, really wanting sushi. And I might do a cheat day where I do sushi. It isn't inherently bad for you. It's just the white rice isn't. But fish, I'll eat sashimi all day. And seaweed's good for you. Lots of zinc. Looks delicious. I know this is supposed to be like 3 servings of cauliflower, but I've only eaten, this is my one big meal. I had a little snack earlier with like 4 carbs in it. So, this is my main meal of the day. I close this ugly, right? My mess of spices. Oh, the kitchen's always pretty much a mess. And so that added a lot of water to it. So it needs to reduce a little bit longer. I'm going to leave the lid off now because the reason you steam it is to trap in the heat so it defrosts faster. But it keeps all the water in because it's not evaporating out of the pan. So now that they're mostly thawed all the way through, they're a little bit cold still probably. But now that they're mostly thawed, we want to get that sauce reduced again because we want it thick so we can coat our pork. I'm going to take out some of the small pieces of broccoli that are done. I hate overcooked broccoli. Like that is one of my biggest pet peeves. But then most Asian restaurants, they undercook their broccoli. They like barely touch it. But I'd rather have it like that than mushy. So I took out the small pieces already. It's almost reduced. Gotta leave a couple pieces for my boyfriend too. He likes his broccoli. I should probably put his broccoli in a bowl right now so that doesn't get overcooked. And then I'll be tossing the pork in there. Actually, he's going to heat this up later. So I'm going to get his rice out of the fridge. Put it in the bottom of the bowl. There you go. So I just have some brown rice for him. Take out some of these. He doesn't want overcooked broccoli either, and he has to reheat this, so. There we go. He's got some big hunkers in there with a bunch of onions. I'm going to put this pork in, toss it up. Yeah, I think we should have made more sauce. That's just me. I want to heat that up a little bit too, because our pork's been sitting for a while. So let that warm up. Clean up a little. Give it a taste. Pieces. That's very good. I'm going to add in a tiny bit more water just to give it some friction of moisture so it heats up. It's not quite hot. Pull out my broccoli though. No overcooked broccoli. I don't know why I'm using this. Well, because that's dirty, that's why. You know, now the pork's nice and hot. I'll save the rest of this, put this in my boyfriend's bowl. You can heat that up later, or probably even eat it cold, be delicious. Turn off our heat. I might not even eat all this, but I'll eat it for leftovers tomorrow too. We tend to eat a lot of leftovers here, so I always make more than we need. Pretty much every lunch or snack I eat is leftovers from another day. It's gonna be some good eating. Try a little bit of it all together for you. Water all over the floor from, I'm guessing, my lid. It's a big bowl of food. I'm probably not gonna be able to eat all of this, but is there a way I can take a screenshot? Oh no. I think there is somewhere. I don't know if I really want to take a picture of this right now and use this as the thumbnail. I don't see anything. What does that do? I don't know what that does. Oh, that shares it. I don't need to do that. Okay, well, I'm going to try this. We'll see how it is all together. Rice and a hunk of pork. Mm-hmm. That is delicious. It's still crispy. It tastes like a General Tso's like crispy chicken. Only with pork. I wouldn't recommend using pork chops. It still is a little dry just because pork chops inherently are dry if you cook them past like 130, and because we fried them in small pieces, they went above that. But with the sauce and the rice, it is so good. So thanks for whoever joined me here. If you see this later, let me know what you think. Anything you'd want me to cover in the future. Any desserts that you can't find a recipe for. I know my one is really popular, the sour cream glazed donuts, and I actually did that one because I couldn't find a recipe. So if there's one out there that you can't find, let me know and I'll try to work on it for you. And other than that, if you enjoy this video, if you enjoy this live stream, hit the subscribe button below, hit the thumbs up, and I will see you soon, I'm sure, because like I said, I'm working one day a week right now. And I'm cooking every night, so I might as well just cook with you guys. So I'll see you later.